Hey guys, Hainz'el here, and today I'm going to teach you how to create better, not perfect, looking CV or resume. Now, I would like to make some disclaimers before we begin. The first is everything that you will actually learn here or listen here is solely based on my perspective, and it's not the standard of the clients. Okay, so if ever you had like an internship or a coaching or a mentorship with another guru or coaches, and you see that their teachings resonates you more, then you may use, of course, whatever they teaching you. But if you think that whatever I'm teaching is something that you see fit to your liking, so just feel free to actually use mine. Okay, now the second disclaimer is this portfolio or this CV was sent to me by someone who needed a mentorship, but then I decided to actually use her CV as an example so that people can actually see what we can change and how we can improve the CV. This does not imply anything to like insult or ridicule that person. This is meant to actually give advice and to help her, of course, make a better CV. Now, I've also removed her personal details just to make sure that her information remains private. Okay, so oh, by the way, I forgot. I'm using English language because not all my viewers are from the Philippines, so this is just to let you guys know in case you are trying to criticize my English. Okay. All right. So here's what we can improve here. I'll be focusing on the top and then we'll go over whatever is down below. Okay? All right. So what I'm using right now is Canva. And the reason why I think there could be a lot of improvement right here is because if I am the client and someone is applying to me as a social media manager and she cannot, okay, design her CV properly, of course I wouldn't entrust my business to her. The reason why I don't like whatever I'm seeing here is because I see a lot of things that are uneven. It looks so messed up or disorganized. See the light, how it's lined up. See, it's not aligned properly. See the font. So we're gonna try to change that later on. Okay, so I also don't like, or personally I also don't like a lot of spaces because I think they are unnecessary. And for the photo, I don't think that the photo needs to be this big. Okay, so unless we are applying as a supermodel, we want our photo to be like ID sized looking. Alright, so I also noticed that there's like a very, very minimal gap, like a space on the side, which I think does not complement the other side. So if we want to have some spaces right here on the left, we can try and do this instead of like doing what we had earlier. Now, I would also move the name on the top, and I would make sure that the position is quite clear. Okay, because using abbreviation like this sometimes could be a little confusing, especially if the client is new to the industry. So you might as well want to be very, very understandable. Okay, so I would remove that for now. So let's say that we're gonna use my name. So Forgive the spelling of my name because it's so easy. Okay, now here's the thing. What you don't want on your font is it overlaps. So in order for you to actually make sure that they don't overlap, I click this spacing and I improve the line spacing right here. Okay. Alright, so I wouldn't change so much, but we'll just improving what we had. So I would use 30. So earlier it says VA and SMM, right? Now if I'm gonna use virtual assistant, okay, let's make it smaller. Okay, now if I'm gonna use virtual assistant, if I have a specific niche, I would actually write that down instead of the vague virtual assistant. Okay, but if you don't have a niche, you can put in general virtual assistant, or as for me, I use tech virtual assistant. Okay, but if for example you have a specific niche, like for example medical virtual assistant, you might want to put that instead of virtual assistant. If you are a real estate virtual assistant, you might want to use that. Okay, it gives a clear position on where you want to apply, and it gives more, power to your CV. Okay, now if I want to be a social media manager as well, I can put social media manager. Now on my CV personally, okay, okay, so as you can see, the what do you call this, the icon is attached to the background. So what I can do here is I can edit the image. Okay, and I cannot use the magic eraser for some reason. Okay, so it's asking us to change the background, so I would probably use this one. Make it super big. And I'm gonna right click it and push it send to back. Okay, so just an example. Alright, so okay, just like what I'm telling a while ago, if ever I'm a web developer, you might as well want to put in, if you actually just use WordPress and you want to target only businesses that wanted to use WordPress, then that's better. So for example, WordPress web developer. But as for me, I don't use specifically WordPress only. I would use web developer because I can do Wix, I can do Squarespace, I can do web design using other CRMs and web builders, not only WordPress. But then if ever your preference is only WordPress, then just put in WordPress developer. Okay, but that's just an example. Okay, so okay, I have a super large rectangle now. Okay, now for the contact information, I can put it here or either here, doesn't matter. But for me, for example, I would use um, like an icon because I want to make sure that my CV is a little bit colorful. Okay, and I use like this one. Of course, I would make sure that they're all the same size. Okay. And make sure that they're aligned. So you will see that they are aligned if you have like that ruler. or that that grid line, indicating that they're actually aligned. Okay, now what I would do is, okay, I would always make sure that the phone number and the emails are hyperlinked, and we want to make sure that in the phone number you actually write down the country code, because if you intend to have clients outside the Philippines or outside where you're locally located, you might as well want to make sure that the country code is right there. Okay, so I would put in +63 or 63, doesn't matter how I write it. Okay, then my number. Um, okay, that's my business number, so don't worry if ever you guys can see it. All right, now as for the email, okay, I want to make sure that I'm not using the same. So let's say my email is worldofhainz'el@gmail.com. Okay, now for me to hyperlink it, I just simply click it. Hold on, let me copy. Oops. Okay, so I just simply click it, this one, then click on link. Okay, now just simply paste it there and then hit enter. Okay, so if it's not doing it, just simply type in 63 and remove the dashes, then hit enter, and it automatically detected that this is a phone number. So what will happen is if someone wanted to call you using your CV, they would just simply click it and then they can immediately call you. Okay, and this goes the same for your email. Just simply paste it, and once people clicks it, they would automatically be able to send you an email. Okay, all right, so just like what I said earlier, I really don't like or appreciate too much space, because I think it's taking some things which are important. So because this one has a lot of space already. Okay, so I'm just trying to like match the design that she has earlier. If you wanted to make it a little bit aesthetic, you can do this, but of course let's just follow whatever she tried to design. Okay, so for the about me section, yes, you are correct, it's important or imperative that you put that above, but make sure that it is readable. Okay, my name is blank, 40 years old, single mom with 2 beautiful kids. See, you don't even use I'm correctly, so you have to make sure that you use the proper punctuation. I'm also a fur mom of 2 kids. Fur mom of my 2-year-old, so 2-year-old Persian cat. So I know it's telling something about yourself, but you might as well want to reword this and make it more professional. So if you don't know how to do it, AI would be there for you. That's why I wouldn't recommend, of course, because it's gonna make you like dull at some point, because you've been using AI all the time. But if ever you want to be more productive and things like that, so go ahead, use AI. No one is stopping you, right? Okay, so let's give you an example. So we'll use ChatGPT as the most common one. So remember, when navigating through an AI, you have to be very specific the way you want it. So if this was her word, so meaning she wanted to like position herself as someone very friendly and professional. She doesn't want too business oriented, but I think this is also a good thing, um, because she's killing the too much strict business vibes, because of course some people doesn't really want to work with a very strict person, something like that. So if that's her vibe, then that's how we write it down. So I would command ChatGPT to like reword this and make it professional but friendly. My name is blank. I'm 40. Okay. So let's see. My name is blank and I'm 40-year-old single mother of two wonderful children. I'm also a proud fur mom of my 2-year-old cat. I'm new. While I'm new. Okay, so it reworded it, but um make it a little more. So I would command ChatGPT to make it a little more interesting. So the word robust feels so much like an AI. I want it to sound natural. Okay, so we can try and use this. But I would feel that she needs to indicate that she's an expert in. That's a problem with general virtual assistants. They don't have like an expertise. So, um, hold on. Her skills. Mm, SEO skills. Hmm. Um, include and social media management. Particularly in content creations. Hi, my name is blah blah blah. Strong focus and content. Okay, so let's use that instead of this. So again, guys, what we want to become is we want to make sure that whatever we write down here is readable, and okay, it's readable. So my name is I'm Hainz'el. I'm Z. I'm just gonna use that. I'm not 40, but I'm a 33-year-old single mom. Okay. Uh, so I'm not sure what size she used here. Okay, so she used 12. So instead of 7, we're gonna use 12 to make sure that everything is even. Okay, but I feel that there's like too much space in between, so we can reduce the space to 1, and I would like to like change the font to okay, Josephines. We want to make I don't like it. All right, what we want to do is we want to make sure that our font are consistent. Okay, fonts are consistent. Okay. All right, so she has a line, so we're gonna use that, but you want to make sure that it's proper. Okay, so now she has an about me. Um, what I would write down is Because this one is so crappy. Um, I think this is part of her experience, but it was all cut off. So, what we want to do is we move it here. We want to place our expertise. Now, I wouldn't call it expertise, um, but it's still up to her. So I would say skills. So, prior to having this created, I saw her that she confused the soft skills from the hard skills. So this right here are hard skills. Your soft skills are communication, articulate, flexible. So those are your soft skills. But when we talk about hard skills, these are the actual skills that will make you deliver the result that the client wanted. So the other would be more of your personality. So that's the difference of the soft skills and the hard skills. Okay, so I also did mention this on my on many of my videos actually. Do not or never ever fake it till you make it. Okay, so don't ever do that. So she wrote down here social engine optimization. I'm not sure if she's actually capable of doing that, because this is more of like a technical thing to do. And some web developers, including myself, is not very much proficient with search engine optimization, and I would see a virtual assistant having this skill without technical knowledge. So this seems like a little bit questionable. So I would say that I wouldn't write it down, especially if you don't really know what this is. Okay, so but if she wrote it down here, then she probably knows how to do it. So let's just think that she knows how to do it. So I'm not sure why it's not included. It's not stacked. But do you see how it was written? So just like what I mentioned earlier, it was all not in place. You see the capital letters are not written properly. So here she's using capital letter for both, then this one isn't. Okay, so I would not use that. So to make sure that we don't mess up, research assistant. So research assistant is actually a profession, not a skill. So you want to make sure that this is correct. So here there was no space. So okay, then we do, oops, then we highlight it and do this. Okay, all right, now okay, oops, sorry, I think this was used. Okay, so 12, 13, so I think we will use 13 here. Okay, and we'll make sure that, do you see the line? That's indicating that it's properly, placed. Okay, so I'm gonna use this as 13 as well, and I'm gonna reduce the line space. Okay, now we have better line. Okay, now what you also want to put here on this side is, hold on, not this one. So what you want to also put right here would be the tools or softwares that you've tried already or that you are currently using. So I would say tools. Let's try to make it shorter. Okay, so tools. So in order for me to simply make sure that I copy the, how it looks, so I'm just gonna duplicate this and I put it here and make sure that they're aligned. Okay, we don't want too much space, I'm gonna push it up. So what tools am I talking about? So for content creation, we can say Canva, we can do Adobe, Photoshop. So for social media management, we can do Hootsuite, Postly. For project management, we can do Asana, we can do Monday, we can do ClickUp. What else? There's a lot. Now for calendar management, um, well, we can put in Calendly, but basically calendar management is like managing the calendar of the client. So we can do Calendly just for the booking, automation and stuff like that. Now, what else? Google, Outlook. Um, Email management and response. Well, you can do this. Search engine optimization. We can also add CRM system that you've used. So go high level. What else? Active campaign. ClickFunnels, and etc. Okay, so now you have like the set of tools that you know how to use. Now let's focus on the experiences, okay? So remember, in freelancing, your education, I'm not saying education is not important, but they don't really pay attention to this one unless it's actually specific with the job, like for example lawyer or medical practitioners. You would have to like put your education license on the top, but for a virtual assistant and stuff like that, honestly you don't even need to write this, but if you can simply put this down below. Okay, so now let's focus on the experiences. Oh, she got data entry. Okay, so data entry. Okay, so you can do appointment setting, lead generation, or whatever. You can put that on your skills. Okay, now for the experiences. Whew, okay, this is a lot. Okay, we can place it here, make sure that they're aligned. So, okay. I'm wondering if I would like use the same design. But okay. So here in the experiences, you can try to like make it a little bit more simple. So, Japan company. I'm not sure what's the name of the company, so just like what I said, this isn't mine. Oh, I forgot. Okay, make sure that this is aligned. Okay. Alright. So, for the experiences, you can place it up. You can also write down whatever you do, like a summary of what you do. But if it's not related to being a VA, you don't actually need to write it down anymore. But yeah, just given the information that you have here. Okay, so I'm gonna delete that black something, and I'm not even sure what to put in here. But if ever, like for example, if you're going to ask me what would be my experiences, so let's say that technical support engineer. So for example, oh, so I would write down concentrics. Right here. So I would write down, and then if ever I have responsibilities, assist, uh, receives incoming call from customers looking for technical support with their networking devices. So I would write down like what I do in the company. I can do that. Okay. Instead of like doing this one, right? So I think this one is much better looking. Okay, now I would prefer if you could write down as a VA. So like for example, Cometry experts. Um, oh, sorry, virtual assistant. Cometry experts. LLC. And what date? So let's say 2021 to 2024. So you can make this a little more elaborate. Like for example, I do invoicing, proposals, invoices, receipts, and stuff like that. Bookkeeping, data entry. So you can try to type that there. But as you can see, this is a much better looking layout than what it was before. So let's say I have like a lot here. Just imagine that. And for the education, hold on. Okay. Oh. I can. So I wouldn't write down just the university. I would write down, give me a second. I'll just use the format of this one. Okay. So what, oopsie daisy. So what I would do is, okay, I would write down, 2009 to 2000 whatever, and then central. Okay, and then I write down, mass communication major and broadcasting, instead of like, you don't need to like put in your awards when you were in school because they won't pay attention unless it's a certificate. Like for example, you have like a QuickBooks certificate, like a zero certificate, uh, um, web design, whatever. Um, but okay, this one looks much better. I mean, if you guys would compare it to how it looked before, um, I wouldn't open, of course. It has our picture. So, yeah. Now, if I want to upload my photo, I'll use Hainz'el. I'll use this one, or I'll use this one. See? Wow. Okay, so now we have a better looking CV than what it was earlier. I can even do this if I wanted to, because I don't like too much space. You need to actually use this space. We don't want too cluttered, but we want to be wise in using up or taking the space. Okay, you can do this as well. This is one thing. I can send it back and then, oops. Oopsie. I think it has a space here. Okay. Alright, so I can put this down. Okay, so now you have a better CV than what it earlier. So that's what you actually need to do to your CV. Make sure that about me is on the top, your skills and your tools are complementing, or your tools should be there. Your experiences could be here if the tools are here, but make sure that this too is present and well highlighted. And then educational background, you can push it down below if you have like a reference like that can vet on you, then basically it's also a good thing. Just make sure that your CV is consistent. Try to like double check it many times. Make sure that it's aligned. Do you see that? Sometimes my mouse has its own life. It um it moves by itself. So, anyways, okay. So make sure that you use just one font, so it wouldn't be like a painful thing in the eye. You want to make sure that the lines are, they're actually aligned. Do you see that line? This one is not centered, so I want to make sure that this is centered. Okay. This is just an example, guys. You can always, you know, design in Canva. You can always use like a specific template. They have a lot, so just type in resume here and a better looking ones. So what I just did is use whatever she had and then reposition everything. But yeah, just remember when you are um, speaking with a client, when you are trying to win a client's heart, make sure that you think like them so you can understand them much better. Okay? Make sure that you don't just think about yourself like, am I going to get this job? How much will she pay me? How much will I gain from this person? You don't do that. What you do is how much I can I help this person, and everything else will follow. Okay? So I hope I was able to help you guys craft a perfect resume or CV for your next application. Thank you so much, and you guys have a wonderful day. It's 6:14 a.m. and I have to sleep. Bye bye.